This conference will now be recorded.
I'm going to make a motion to depart from regular order.
Second.
Okay, discussion. I would like to start the meeting by having public comment. Everyone can talk for 3 minutes. This is not for questions, this is for comments. You can either talk at the beginning of the meeting or at the end of the meeting. These are all the rules established by a neighboring municipality whose meetings are much more orderly than ours have been in the past few years, which that is one of my goals, to have orderly meetings. When we're doing the actual meeting, if you want to talk, please raise your hand. You know, we have a lot to get through tonight. We're going to have a lot to get through probably for the first 6 months at least, but I will try to take some questions and comments during the meeting if that seems appropriate, but that's a judgment call by me. We've had meetings in here that were complete free-for-alls. We've had a series of maybe 4 months, 5 months, 6 months where it just went off the rails over and over again. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. So with that, unless anyone else has anything to say, I'd like to open the floor for public comments. Please raise your hand and I'll call on you. Okay, go ahead.
If we're having a meeting and we're discussing 14 plus things as tonight on the agenda, are people supposed to wait for their comments until the next meeting to ask any questions about what we discussed tonight? It seems like having a public comment section at the beginning of a meeting when they don't know about anything we're discussing until after the meeting doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay. We'll do public comment at the beginning of the meeting and at the end, but you can only talk, you have to pick. And then big picture, you know, the way Roy ran the meetings in a very friendly, relaxed way. And my goal is to get back to that, but obviously we're not there yet. So right now I'm going to keep the reins a little tighter than I would like to in an ideal world. I did like the way that the meetings went, 5, 6 years ago, but for the past, I don't know, 3.5 years or so, a lot of the meetings have been tense, and there was a period where I'm not sure if anyone else remembers the meeting that was a free-for-all, but it was truly a free-for-all. It was not good for the town. And then there was another period where things just went off the rails over and over and over again with arguing between the public, arguing, back and forth between the board and the public, members of the public. It was not a good, it was an ugly scene. So that's what I'm trying to get away from. I welcome your comments to answer your question. Okay. Okay, Wendy Grossman.
Just a thought. I've been looking at all of the agendas that they've come out. I know they're tricky because you're adding things and taking things and moving them around. Could we maybe post them with like draft 1, draft 2, draft 3, so we know exactly which ones we're looking at and in what order?
Yes.
Thank you.
It will be embarrassing to me when it gets to draft 20.
Well, let's not go there.
You know, there are things that I was asked by town employees yesterday to add to the agenda. And I took a call half an hour ago from another town employee asking me to add something to the agenda. So it's, I would like to be impeccable. But there are things, these do go through drafts, and hopefully I'll keep it under 30. Okay. Please.
Just curious, is there a resolution?
Can you introduce yourself? I'm sorry.
George Trachtenberg. Was there a resolution that allows you to run the meeting as you see fit, or does there need to be a resolution that indicates how a meeting should be run?
I anticipated that question, and I was thinking, does anyone have the organizational meeting resolutions with them? I am the chair of the meetings, and my duty is to run an organized meeting and to keep organization and to keep decorum during the meeting. And we did resolve that. I mean, that's, I think, by custom, by law, and by resolution.
Is that something that we would be able to say?
Yes, it was the second resolution from the first meeting of the year.
I have the old ones from last
Thank you. Is this the?
Mhm.
Yes.
year.
The town supervisor shall preside over, I'm sorry, I said no questions. And I'm immediately breaking my own rules. The point of this is not questions. We are going to have a whole separate meeting for questions. That will be on the 22nd. But like I've said a few times at this point, I'm trying to lower the temperature. And the questions and the back and forth did nothing but ratchet up the temperature. I will answer this question. The answer to your question is yes, and it was the second resolution of the first meeting of the year, the organizational meeting.
Is that a resolution that we'd be able to have to read?
Yes, yes. It will be in the minutes, but again. Please.
I just found it a little odd.
Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Paula McGree. I just find it a little odd that at the organizational meeting, there wasn't a budget officer
Oh,
nominated or appointed. It's just an opinion on something that I found a little odd, seeing that you guys spoke to looking at spending of monies and such. That's all. Just a statement.
okay. Michelle.
I submitted a letter to the board that I'm sure that all of you received earlier today, and I appreciate that part of the letter you are addressing as far as allowing some comment. I do wish that you would accept more questions from the public, because I feel as though comments don't give you a full idea of what people are thinking or wondering. I would also like to add to that it's very difficult, like Karen said, we don't know what we would like to say or ask necessarily until the end of the meeting. However, one of the things that I did want to address, I feel is necessary at the beginning of the meeting, which again, I wrote in my letter to you, is regards to resolutions. I see that there's resolutions on the agenda, and as the general public, I don't feel as though that's right to make resolutions without the public having more knowledge ahead of time, particularly about resolution number 1 on the agenda. There was already, the last board had established that there was going to be a committee to discuss doing a park, or not necessarily a park, but some sort of a memorial or something to try to make sure that everybody in town that deserved recognition would be recognized. And I'd like to know, I'm sorry, I'm not asking you a question, I'm stating that I feel as though that is being overlooked, and I don't feel as though anything more should be moving forward until everyone's voice is heard on that matter. And continuing with the other resolutions on there, I have concerns that resolutions are being made without enough knowledge and questions from the public.
Okay. Please.
Excuse me. My name is Chelsea Sprague. I do not live in the town of Wilmington, but many of you know me. I am a special education teacher at Osceola Valley. I plan and run the extended day program at the middle high school, and I also plan and run as the director of the Patriot Summer Youth Program at ABCS for the past 4 years. I am here just to listen about the discussion about the youth committee, wondering if someone outside of the town can be on that committee, and offering my assistance and knowledge at running your summer program if possible. That's all I have to say.
Your name has been brought up to me, so thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Please.
Dave Staley, first time here, kind of a new resident. Kind of the opposite of Jeffrey. I can't ask a question. Please introduce yourselves.
Okay.
I don't know who you guys are. I assume you're Tim. I know you're Darren.
I'm Hannah. I've lived here for about 10 years. I graduated Paul Smith in 2016. And I worked at the Wildlife Refuge for a long time. I work for the Olympic Authority now. And I come to this with a little bit more of an environmental mindset. I'm a wildlife biologist by trade. But, you know, I saw some things going on in the town and I wanted to get involved and here I am.
Pleased to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura Hooker, lifelong resident. I've been on the board for 2 years and
Nice to
thank
meet
you for
you.
coming.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you.
Randy Winch. I'm a lifelong resident of Wilmington. I'm retired from Lake Placid Central School, where I worked for 20 plus years in the custodial and maintenance department. I've been retired for like 4 years. I'm loving every minute of it.
One year for me.
This is my first time on the town board.
Great. Pleased to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
Nice to see
Darren
you.
Forbes,
Nice to see you again. We met
thank
in
you.
person on Saturday.
lifelong resident, been on the board for 18 years. Seen pretty much all that Wilmington has to offer, good and bad,
Great.
from both sides of the table. Worked for the town for 5.5 years prior to that. And, I'm self-employed with a construction property management business here in Wilmington.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a question. Carol, please.
Okay, no questions, just a statement. I think it's a mistake to go with Facebook. I know that this was mentioned by somebody last time. I think that we don't really need a social media page. We have a website, people will go to that rather than use social media. And I believe that that is a better format for people's interactions and stuff. You avoid a whole bunch of toxic, gossipy text lists, comments that you waste a lot of time sending out.
Thank you.
Well taken. Dan, please.
I agree.
Thank you.
Me too.
Carl?
Agree.
Pat?
I was just a me too. I
Okay.
agree.
Okay, I'll close the public comments if there's nothing further.
Online. We
What?
have to check online.
We do?
Mhm.
We have to check online.
Okay, maybe. I guess I'll have to go through and do them separate.
All I can do is send them a message that they can unmute.
Could we ask them to raise their hands if they'd like to comment?
You can ask.
Okay. Anybody in attendance online, could you please raise your hand if you'd like to comment in our public comment section, which is ending as soon as we find out if anybody would like to raise their hand.
Who did?
No, I don't think so.
To say, if any of you guys see somebody raise their hand,
It
I'm
should-
kind
it
of
should-
at a weird angle here.
I don't see anybody on.
No, it should pop up with somebody. Yeah, there would be a hand that would raise up to be able to see.
Okay.
I'm going to yield the floor to the deputy supervisor at this point.
There's a resolution which is not included in the packet, which I'm going to make a motion to move. It is Resolution 32. It's out of order, but considering this meeting, I would like to move it to the front of the agenda. If anybody, can I get a motion to
I'll
move
make
this?
Second.
Okay, the Resolution 32 of 2026, excuse me. Town Facebook page, whereas the town board of the town of Wilmington recognizes that the townspeople of the town of Wilmington need a dependable, consistent, and clear source of information for the town of Wilmington's meetings, public hearings, and official announcements. And given the current climate of the social media environment, be it resolved, the town board hereby resolves to dissolve the newly created Town of Wilmington Municipal Facebook page and no postings or interaction on the town's behalf in a social media avenue will be performed by any town employee in their official capacity. All communication of official town business will be done through legally required postings by the town clerk, as has been done prior to social media involvement. Discussion.
I'm just wondering where the reversal came from. I mean, it was your and Tim's position last time that we wanted to create a town Facebook page because a lot of people don't get to the post office, especially elderly people, and it's very hard for them to try to go to a web page all the time. So this was a way for you guys to get information out for agendas and stuff like that. And now we're doing a complete 180 less than a week later, and now we're dissolving a page that you guys wanted after I asked about it last time. And now all of a sudden it's saying, well, we've changed our mind. I wanted to know why the reversal.
I'll just want to speak first on it. There's a famous quote that the law does not evolve based on logic, but based on experience. So too with policy. This is based on experience. This is based on our experiences. And with that, I'll turn it over to the deputy supervisor.
Attendance at tonight's meeting is partially driven by what I believe is social media comments that have gotten posted and are not necessarily a good look on the town Facebook page's behalf, and including some of your comments, Darren. And I would like to just make it simple so that there's no, we checked with the town attorneys. There's been many different areas where the comments have been questioned, where what we post, how we post it, how things are commented on. It's a labyrinth, to be honest with you, and it is not fair to put that on Dawn. It's not fair to put it on any town employee, and there has been, things have been brought to light. I'm not going to get into it, but there are definitely things which I'm not going to get into it because I don't agree with much of it. So that's why this has been a resolution put on the table.
Just to tag onto that a little bit, my goal is to turn down the temperature, and this has only turned it up. So this is continuation of the effort. One, to turn down the temperature was not what I would describe as successful. So this is taking a new direction in our efforts to turn down the temperature. Please, thank you.
On the newly created town Facebook page, the comment section has been completely eliminated. So it was mostly an informational page. So I don't understand why you're saying the involvement created by this page, and I did not comment on that page. It was on previous pages because that page has had no comments allowed, which is totally legal by the town because it can be an informational page and comments don't have to be allowed as long as everybody is censored and not just a single group.
Correct. So yes, that is why I disabled comments on those pages.
Okay, so if it's a page that's just getting information out and there's no back and forth or bickering or anything, I don't see how that's going to create a division in town when it's simply an informational page.
Because it did create division in town.
There's also another aspect of it as well. There was a clear chance, a pretty good chance, that it was going to start creating significant burdens on town employees or town office holders that we didn't feel it was fair to place on. And these aren't necessarily burdens on ourselves, but other people. This is somewhat in response to a request from someone else who didn't want a burden placed upon them.
Well, wasn't that Chris's job before and not Don's job?
I have said things have come to light. I'm not going to speak about it.
And we really shouldn't speak too much about
Nope.
some topics. So I guess we'll call a vote on that resolution.
Hannah?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Darren?
No.
Laura,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Carrie.
Okay,
When you call that resolution 32,
yes.
when I'm here, resolution 32 in your packet you gave out is the contract with the SSM.
Thank
The
you.
resolution numbers aren't right, Tina, because I'll end up changing them a lot because things will be added and taken away. So we can't really go by those numbers there.
I will say, in my defense, it's labeled as a draft. It's a draft.
Which number?
It's not meant to be, the Old Testament. Okay, I guess I'll make a motion to go back to regular order.
Second.
Discussion. Oh,
Yes.
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 Okay, carries unanimously. Announcements and reports. Dawn, do you have anything you would like to announce or report?
No, that we're doing really good at collecting the taxes. So that's a good thing. We'll probably make our warrant again before the end of January, which is always good. That's about it. Please put your phone numbers on your checks. Because, you paid me there. When they're mailed to me, I've got 3 different people. I have to mail their checks back because they made a mistake on them. When I have a phone number and I can reach you, I'll call you and then we can get it fixed. But otherwise, I have to mail it back, and as the deadline gets closer, you can end up paying extra money, and I hate to see anybody have to do that. That's it.
Okay, board members, I guess we'll start with Hannah and just go around the table.
I'll just say thank you, everybody, for coming today and being engaged.
We'll say.
Thank you for coming. I don't think any of us are perfect up here, and I appreciate everybody understanding that. We are running as best we can. We do make mistakes. We do try to do our best. We are literally working our butts off for you. Yeah. Tim and I cleaned this office today, vacuumed, cleaned the chairs. We were in here doing stuff. We're doing things behind the scenes. We're doing things in emails. We are really working hard, and we are not without fault. So just cut us a little slack. If you have a problem with us, I don't think any of us have not said that we would talk to you. We're here. We're open. If you can't get a hold of us, we have emails. Mine is ldhwtc@gmail.com, and you can email me. I will try to get back to you. Thank you.
Of course, I have a lot to say, and I'll try to keep it to under 45 minutes. In fact, I'm going to push it off, since we're already at almost half an hour. I'm going to push it off until the meeting on the 22nd. I'm just going to roll through some of the things on agenda item 9 and say some things about these topics. Board member assignments, I have a lot of thoughts. I didn't get them written up. If you have anything you particularly want or don't want, please let me know. Yeah, I'm not going to go through them now, but I will certainly have them ready for everyone by the 22nd. Facility use policies, I just want to put on everyone's radar. I have received a request to use Preston Festival Field for a wedding, which I'm more than happy to do it. Of course, inevitably, it's conflicting with a pre-scheduled event or an annual town event. So I think we need to decide, well, first of all, what do we want to charge? And then I don't know how to, I'll leave it at that for now, but I just want to put this on people's radar that we are being asked for this type of thing. Transfer station, Doug asked us to increase the fee for mattresses. I want to say mattresses and tire.
So I can touch on that.
Please, yes, thanks.
Do you want to wait till later, or?
Well, I'll just say this. Doug has asked us to increase some of the transfer fees, not for general garbage, but for a couple of specific items. Seems reasonable to me. The building fees, we're still below inflation, so I'd like to revisit that. That shouldn't be a long or hot conversation. Town logo, I would like to look at updating the town logo. Have some local artists submit logos, ideas for logos. Particularly the town sign here really needs to be replaced. The town sign in front of the town hall. I've had a surprising number of people, or maybe not surprising number of people, who have talked to me about the lamp posts at the beach. Which, yeah. So I've started looking into it, and the issue is, things done on a handshake agreement, they're great when everyone involved is still in their same positions and everyone is honorable and willing to live up to it. In this case, this was done without anything in writing. So the town doesn't own the property that these lampposts are on. And that's where I'm at with it. I need to reach out to the people who do own the property, and then we'll figure out where we're going to go from here after we know how they feel about it. So that's my report. I just wanted to touch on those topics.
Hopefully it's before the summer and people don't get conked on the head by a falling street lamp.
Well, it's not on our property.
Somebody's gonna pay. As I said, I'm new to the board and I'm anxious to get underway and get some things accomplished. It didn't seem like before that things were getting accomplished hardly at all. But like I say, I'm new and I've got a lot to learn, so maybe I'm wrong that maybe I was over anxious to get things done or see things get done or whatever, but I like to see things get done.
Well, since I'm not a member of the general public and I am a board member, it's my job to ask questions. So my report is going to be asking some questions and clarifying some things for the public. Some of the things you've already addressed, like the public comment, so I won't go into detail on that. I think Paula brought up budget officer. That's something that's normally addressed at an organizational meeting, so that's something that we need to talk about tonight. Along with that, a safety officer is also required for the town of Wilmington. I asked about this in the past. It's not something that we can bypass. We have to designate a safety officer for the town of Wilmington. Other things.
Can I ask a quick question? Just
Yep.
Curiosity. Is the same true of the budget officer? Is that?
Well, that's going to lead into my next question, which is, did you talk to Mr. Kennelly about the change of salaries and our budget the way it was adopted? Because our budget the way it's adopted has a budget officer position in there, along with salaries that were already approved and adopted, being your salary for one, board members or whatever. Are we allowed to change them now after the fact, or are we required to stick with the budget as it was adopted in November? So that is going to lead into your question as far as budget officer. I don't know that. You're going to have to find out from Mr. Kennelly if you haven't found so far. Other questions that have been brought to me is, are you going to have set office hours? Because now you've been here approximately 2 weeks and people have not been able to come to the town hall to get you in a normal, and we do have a letter touching on this too, in normal business hours. It seems like anybody's been struggling to get you between the hours of say 9 and 3. So just looking for you to address that. The same with Essex County. Are you going to continue to represent us in Essex County the way that supervisors in the past? Because the past 2 meetings in the county, I heard that our representation has been lacking or late there as of. The last thing I have to say, and then you can address these and however you want, would be the resolution on the Greg Winch Park. This resolution has already been passed in the sense of, and you had brought it up, we had talked about Greg being a family man and a pillar of the community, and that already has been passed last year by a unanimous second. However, you're trying to roll that same resolution in on a unanimous second with the park. And we've already made a resolution honoring Greg. I don't think it's right to roll the same resolution that we've already made and try to backdoor making a park with the same resolution, because I 100% agree that Greg was a great member and a great employee of the town of Wilmington, but I may not agree with a park. So I don't think they should be involved in the same resolution at the same time. And I will leave it at that.
Okay. So I'll try to answer all those questions. Well, I guess I'll start with Greg. I was hopeful that we could do this by unanimous second. I was aware that we may not be able to. I was kind of 50-50 on that, whether we could do it by unanimous second. As far as the, I guess, introductory language that is very similar to what we passed unanimously last year. I mean, fair enough. We don't need to have it. We can definitely name the park without having it. I thought that it would be appropriate to have it in this resolution where we name the park. But it's, you know, I'm somewhat neutral on whether we include it or exit out and just start at the bolded whereas. That would be okay with me. Being late to the Essex County, you know, I would hate to have someone try to embarrass me up here for political reasons. I mean, true, fair. The first one, fair. It was not good. I'll own up to it. The second one was a committee meeting that I did not know I was a member of the committee. I do now know that I am a member of the committee. There was a vote on a local law. I was there in plenty of time for the vote on the local law. But I wasn't there for the committee meeting because I had not received notification that I was on that committee. Safety officer, budget officer, yes, fine, we can do that, and we can do that as it was. I'm fine with, you know, all of this is, I guess, somewhat open to the board, but I have no issue whatsoever with going along with the names and figures that are in our budget. And at that point, I've forgotten the other questions, so you'll have to remind me.
It was mostly on our salaries that were already previously based on last year's budget.
Got it. Yes, you're right. I don't think that, you know, I don't think I need to ask Attorney Kennelly. In very preliminary research, I think I found that no, we can't do that for the reasons that you suggested at the last meeting. So we can either try to find a way around it by, you know, donating the, what he's referring to is, at the last meeting, the organizational meeting, I said that I wanted to and made a resolution as part of the effort to cut spending, that I thought that it would be good. You know, the town employees, their wages are going up 5%. Most of the elected offices are going up 4%. I said, town supervisor, town board, let's do 0% and show the town that we're serious about cutting spending and we're willing to bear some of the pain of that. You know, we're not just looking to cut things for other people. We'll lead by example and do it. We'll cut our own salaries to start. Or we were scheduled for I guess a 4% salary increase. And I said, let's change that to 0. However, no, we can't. We're not allowed to do that. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm not really sure why a board can't cut its own salaries legally. I can understand why we can't cut the judge's salary or the town clerk. I don't see why we're not allowed to cut our own salaries. But I guess maybe you want it so that the board can't cut the supervisor's salary, which if there's a supervisor that 3 members of the board don't like. But anyway, If we want to go forward with that, we'll have to figure out another way to go forward with it by donating our, whatever that, I think for me, it's like $1,000. For everyone else, it's a few $100s. So we can go forward however we want on that. I have no real strong opinion on it.
Your last thing was, do you plan to establish office hours?
Got it. Yes. Yes, that's somewhat of a complicated question. But the answer to the question is yes. At the moment, to say that the office is in shambles would be an understatement. But yes, I am certainly willing to meet with people. And yes, I will maintain a set schedule. I haven't been in office for 2 weeks. Heck, as of yesterday, I didn't even know what county committees I was on. So, but yes, I will have set times where people who would like to speak with me can speak with me without an appointment. Okay. Well, I guess Dawn, please.
Do you want to make the resolution to rescind the resolution that you guys made the last meeting, taking away the salary
I don't know.
or the raise?
I don't know.
We just said,
Whatever everyone else wants to do is okay with me. Whatever you feel is. What do you feel that's appropriate? Do you feel we should do that?
yes.
Then let's make a resolution rescinding. Let's make a resolution establishing the salaries for the members of the town board and the town supervisor as they were approved in the 2026 budget.
Shouldn't we do it for all salaries? Because again,
Fair.
budget officer, safety officer, it kind of is a one resolution that
It'll cover
Covers
everything,
everything.
and we don't have to do it again. Okay. I'll do a roll call vote on that.
You made it?
I guess I made it.
Second?
Okay, Hannah,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
I skipped you, I'm sorry. Dennis,
yes.
Randy,
Yes.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Agenda item 2. So I'm guessing my sense is that it will not be a unanimous second on naming the park after Greg.
Are we gonna make a resolution to discuss it?
You're right. You're right. So may I have a resolution on agenda item 2? May I have a motion? I'm sorry. On
Make
agenda
it.
item 2. Thank you.
Second? Second. Had a frog in my throat.
I'm open to hearing, I wrote basically my perspective, particularly at the end of this resolution, so I don't think that I need to speak right now. I'll listen to whatever the rest of the board wants to say. Please.
I'll start. Basically, my feeling was, like I've already talked about, we've already made a resolution that Greg was a longtime employee for the town of Wilmington. He held the town near and dear in his heart. He was a great member of the community and worked here for a long time and had a huge background and influence over many people in many areas in Wilmington. This resolution was already made in 2025. I don't know the number right off the top of my head, but I'm sure Don could find that. And that was made by unanimous second. Last year, with 3 of us that are still sitting here on the board, there was much discussion about whether we name an area of the beach after Greg. And I know this is a different board, but we had much discussion, and we thought that at least at that time it was a better way to honor all employees by doing some type of memorial wall or walkway. That way, rather than just one person that has worked for the town for 30 years, when there's been many people over the years that's worked here for 20, 30 years and had as big influence as Greg can all be honored. Greg was very dedicated to the town, but so was, Mr. Lawrence and Mr. Bowen and lots of people that have worked for the town. And I find it, there's no other area in town named after a previous employee other than Preston Field, and that was a supervisor that died in office, and he was the one that solely got the grant himself to purchase that property. And because he purchased that property with a grant that he got, that was the reason that the town board had made the resolution to name that area after Mr. Preston. Other than that, there's no other areas in town or parks or anything that has been named after previous employees. So I don't feel that it's nothing against Greg. I'd probably, because I worked with Greg for 5.5 years, I was probably closer with Greg during that period than anybody at the table has ever been. Me and Greg were basically best friends when I worked with him every day. So I have no ill will against Greg at all, and I think he's been a great employee. I just think that is kind of sad that we're honoring one employee and not all the employees that's had great influences over town over the past however many years.
Okay. Address two things, or two topics you brought up, 2 points you made. I do agree that as I said last time we discussed this, naming things after other employees, I am in favor of. If family members of town employees, we can say 20 years, who have worked for the town for 20 years, we can set a date, or we can set a number of years, want the town to name something after their family member. I would be glad to do that. That's not a stumbling block, and just because things weren't done, just because town employees weren't honored in a particular way in the past, I don't think means that this board or future boards is prohibited from honoring them in that way in the present or future. We do have a lot of things in this town that are named after people. If you think about it, a lot of the roads are named after people. So I think highway department employees, if their families want us to look for something to name after them, we can definitely, I would be glad to do that. The memorial wall, no one could ever possibly be against it. And I'm not against it either. But I think it's appropriate to honor Greg in this way. And I think it would be appropriate to honor very long-standing town employees in a similar way going forward. We do have a lot of things, even the baseball field is technically named after someone. There's the E.M. Cooper Library, Lake Everest. It's a pretty long list of things in town that are named after people. So I think that this was a very modest way to honor someone who spent his life working for the town. Please.
I believe that, yes, we have discussed it. The committee was in addition to this. That was separate. It was brought up. I mean, Tim has brought this up a couple different times. This was based upon a request from the family of Greg Lynch. This was not, this was asked for. He has consistently had the same stance on it. I think it's a small tribute that's not lost in a book of resolution for someone who offered 30 years of his life to the town.
I think it's a good idea to name certain things after people that have dedicated their life for 25 years or 20 years or whatever it is to a job that they really enjoy doing, and if they didn't enjoy it, they wouldn't have put in all those years. And I don't really think it's pick and choose over, say, Greg over somebody that worked 50 years ago. Just because the board 50 years ago didn't come up with this idea doesn't mean that the new board can't come up with this idea. I think I think change is good in certain instances, and I'm kind of for naming certain things after certain people.
I apologize if it's mentioned somewhere already. This is something his family specifically requested.
The simplest answer to that is yes. There's a much longer, I hate to, in front of 50 people, recite personal conversations. So I'll just say yes.
Yeah. I don't really have any skin in this. I didn't know Greg, obviously. My only thought is perhaps if we do move forward with this, we could also at least set into motion or set a date to talk more about the memorial wall as well.
Okay, good.
Let's go. The last one.
Please.
Is this the whole beach or is this a portion of the beach?
No, it's the picnic area where
And we're just gonna have a plaque or something there for it?
a sign, maybe 2 signs. I'm thinking I have to talk to his family to ask them what they want. But if it were up to me, what I would do is I don't know, 18 inches by 3 or 4 feet sign that says, in just the very typical brown and yellow style, just like a highway sign, a road sign, it says Greg Winch Park, in honor of a family man, public servant, and pillar of his community. And then somewhere tucked away in a corner, like a plaque or like maybe the type of like historical marker, that type of sign, or the type of sign that they used for the cannon prank, that type of sign, tucked away somewhere in that area. That's how I'm thinking of it. But I would want to ask his kids, as far, if it were up to me, it would be brown and yellow. Maybe they want a different color, maybe they have ideas of things they would prefer. And obviously I would defer to what they want. Fortunately, there's 3 of them, so it can be by majority vote. Well, I guess unless there's further discussion, we can put it to a vote at this point.
Anna,
Yeah.
Tim,
Yes.
Darren,
No.
Laura,
Yes.
Randy.
I don't know by rights if I should abstain because my last name is Lynch or not, but
Yours what? Yours second cousin?
I don't even think we're related, actually. If it makes people feel better, I will abstain.
No, you don't. If you're not related to him,
Then I vote yes.
I think there has to be an immediate family
Okay.
member. I could be
Want to
wrong,
be
but I
proper,
believe,
you know.
I think that's
I
right.
believe it's immediate family member.
That's right.
It would have carried either way.
Ancestry.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Dawn?
It would have carried either way.
Okay, may I have a motion on agenda item 2? Oh, resolution. Yeah, agenda item 3, rather, sorry.
Make it.
Second.
Okay, discussion. This is, I'm not, in our organizational meeting, our rules of procedure, we set a rule that, and this is directly from Robert's Rules of Order, that the chair can, or the board can stop discussion after everyone has spoken about a topic twice. This may be one of the only times I may exercise that, because some of these topics we've been talking about for almost 4 years. And I know there are people here who haven't heard those conversations, but we're almost at an hour, and this is just putting the process in motion to enact these. This will not be by any means the last time this is discussed. These will be discussed at a minimum at 2 more meetings, including a public hearing. So with that said, I guess I'll go first and just say I'm the person who you could say I'm the person who wrote these. There's a lot of it is kind of cutting and pasting. The section 3 of this resolution, or of the local law, that's just directly inspired by Dollar General's application to open a store in Wilmington. Their proposed store was greater than 10,000 square feet. We're just looking for a way in our zoning code to give our planning board the right to say no, or the right to say yes, but it has to look a certain way. And so that would be the zoning board. If they wanted to put a 9,000 square foot store, our zoning and planning boards could say, okay, you can do it, but it has to look a certain way, which I think would be very helpful for the town. And these A, B, and C, that's directly from a previous North Elba town code with the numbers changed. And I don't remember what the North Elba numbers were. They were higher. Section 4 and 5, directly taken from the judge's decision. The language in the old North Elba code that the judge at the time relied on in upholding the landmark case, which Bill probably might remember the name of it better than I do, but the case name was something like Planning Board of Walmart versus Planning Board of North Elba, something like that. And North Elba was permitted to deny Walmart's conditional use permit application based on that language that was in the North Elba code. That's in section 4 and 5 here. Section 6 is more or less directly inspired by the KOA. If the KOA had not occurred the way it did, I would still think it's a good idea. And it's almost verbatim from the 1988 Wilmington Land Use Code. The only change was that in the 88 Wilmington Code, it said development. I think it just said development, and I changed it to like commercial development. And I believe in the 88 code, the number 30, it's 30 here. I believe in the previous code, the number was greater than 30. But other than that, as far as I can remember, it's exactly the same. So I just wanted to explain to everyone who's new and hasn't heard us have these conversations before what this amendment is, what this resolution is. Please.
The previous board had given Tim permission to speak to the our zoning, the lawyer who offers us information on planning, or excuse me, zoning, Mr. Schechner, and so I believe he has reviewed these as well, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, I have made minor changes. It was based, the feedback was positive. The changes were so minor. It was like changing. I had like land use code or zoning code, and he said change it to zoning ordinance because the name of the code is zoning ordinance. The suggestions were small things like how the subsections were lettered. There were no significant material suggestions. I believe that Mark Schechner is one of the 8,000 people watching this. So hopefully he can chime in if he feels he needs to.
27 people.
I'm near 27.
27.
I'm near 27. No one's interested. Other board members want to have anything? Go ahead, Randy.
Just seems to me like we've been talking about these same proposals for like 2 years, at least 2 years. Keep going back and forth and postponing and this and that and the other thing. And there is quite a bit of large parcels of land for sale in town right now, and I think we should get something on the books as soon as we possibly can, so we don't have a mega whatever in this town that most people that have lived here and are newcomers and stuff probably don't want that type of environment in this town. And I mean, let's get something done.
I'll comment, but I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I know I'm gonna be outvoted on this one again. We've talked about this for the past 2 years because previous board, the majority usually was not in favor of most of these things. So Tim kept bringing it up and it never passed because the majority of the board was not in favor of it. That's why it had kept getting talked about for multiple years. Although I'm in favor of 85% of what's here, I'm not in favor of everything. And I think some things just don't make sense. And I've brought it up before. For example, where it says general guidelines and at least 30 feet of natural vegetation be left in its natural or unimproved state adjoining any public street or highway. And I said, how does this make any sense when it says natural vegetation? Because if we're looking to screen things and the previous lot was a field and there's no natural vegetation, there's not going to be any screening. So the whole point of this code was to have a screening of the buildings that are being built. But if there's no screening there to begin with, where's the 30 feet of vegetation? Some of it just doesn't make sense. And I keep saying this over and over and over again, and it keeps getting shoved down our throats without any of this stuff being changed. So for that reason, I will be voting no.
Just to address the natural vegetation, I mean, fair enough. And if you have ideas of things that amendments you would like to make, please bring them to the board. This is for the situations where there previously was, doesn't apply to every situation in town. It would have applied to a lot of situations where there is natural vegetation. And, 30 feet's pretty small, but at least it gives the neighbors some buffer. Like I said, I think previously it was 50, which I mean is not huge either. But where there was a natural vegetative border, at least in those situations, it can be left. Or there needs to be a lot more discussion before it's cut down. It can't just be automatically cut down.
Can I just clarify that really quick, Tim?
Okay.
It'll take me 2 seconds. And sometimes when you leave natural vegetation, it could be more than an eyesore than taking that vegetation, especially if it's dead trees and fallen trees and dilapidated forests, then replacing it with new screening that's going to look visually better and have a better impact on that location. And I'll leave it at that.
I'll let you go, but I just want to. We need to make more amendments to the zoning code. These are not the only amendments I'm hoping to make. I would say there's probably at least a half dozen amendments that I believe ought to be made to the zoning code in the near future, in the near term. So this is not the last word on any improvements to the code. This is something that I feel this is a starting point. This is getting something on the books instead of just hashing this out year after year. My impression of the previous board, it was a lot of, I'm not exactly sure what kabuki theater is, but I think it was kabuki theater, if I understand what the definition of that term is. It was kicked to the planning board. Oh, we need the planning board to recommend it. Well, the planning board recommended it unanimously. So then it comes back to the town board. Then the town board says, okay, give it to the lawyer. We give it to the lawyer. The lawyer says, okay, now we're here. So to me, it seemed like things were just being delayed for the sake of delay rather than yes or no. And we were actually, Darren, we were on the same page. We were saying, can we get a vote on this so we know whether the board wants to move forward with this? Am I wasting my time? No one knew how the last election would go. I didn't want to waste my time if a majority of the board didn't support it. But we never got that clarity. What we got was well, send it to the planning board, send it to the lawyer. And we have taken all of those steps.
Darren, I just wanted to point out, under the general guidelines, number 3, it does say that the planning board and the zoning board of appeals may in their discretion require additional measures to provide suitable screening, such as setbacks, planting, and fencing. So in that circumstance, it would be before the board for them to add additional.
I understand. So if that's already in there, like the language before that should be amended to fit that the board can require screening at any time at their discretion. It just, again, it seems like it's being pushed at us. Most of this stuff should be discussed by the town board and like, all right, you say this, I say this, we meet somewhere in the middle so it's a happy thing for everyone. Instead of saying, here's the resolution, this is what we're gonna pass, and there's been no discussion.
You know, I would say that we've discussed it for 4 years at this point, and I think the best thing to do would be call a vote. There will be a public hearing. We're not adopting this. There will be a public hearing. We will continue discussing it, but I feel differently because I feel that we've had these conversations over and over again, and you know, I ran on these amendments, and I believe the town supports them. And very muted applause. And so I always want more. Yeah, so I think the town supports them. I think they're good, and I think that they're like, I think that's very well put, Randy. Like, we've talked about them for some of these amendments we've talked about for 4 years. Let's get something done and then move on to the next thing. And I believe these are positive amendments. So.
And not for nothing, the last hurdle that you were required to do is done. You did check with the lawyer. The lawyer approved them. Now we are submitting it for, this resolution is to set up a public hearing.
That's right.
So I think you have done your due diligence.
Yeah, and not for nothing, the planning board did recommend them unanimously. So let's have a vote.
Hannah?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Darren?
No.
Laura?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Okay, may I have a agenda item 4? May I have a resolution on agenda item 4?
Make it.
For a second.
I'll second.
Discussion. Hearing no discussion. Vote. Have a vote.
Fine.
Okay. Okay, Hannah, if you, Don, we're going to,
Hannah?
Yes.
Can we read the resolution out loud before we vote on it? That's how it's
I
supposed
can
to
do
be
it if you
done.
want.
sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Resolution number 27, well, whatever the number will be. Training requirements for members of the Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals. Whereas the laws of the town of Wilmington and the laws of the state of New York require all members of the Planning Board and the Zoning Board of Appeals of the town of Wilmington to complete 4 hours of training annually, it is hereby resolved that all members of the Planning Board and the Zoning Board of Appeals of the town of Wilmington shall submit documentation sufficient to show that they completed their training required for the year 2025 to the town clerk of the town of Wilmington not later than February 1st, 2026. Number 2, all members of the Planning Board and the Zoning Board of Appeals of the town of Wilmington shall submit documentation sufficient to show that they completed their required training for the year of 2026 to the town clerk of the town of Wilmington not later than December 31st, 2026.
Discussion. Okay, I guess we'll have all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, agenda item 6. May I have a motion on agenda item 6?
I'll make it.
5.
Are we skipping?
Oh, I have, well, it turns out I'm actually not perfect then. Yeah. May I have a motion on agenda item 5? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Getting into discussion of this, this is very similar to what we approved last week. You know, as this agenda indicates, and as I've said, we have a lot to do. I guess I'll leave it at that, but this agenda will be somewhat typical. So I think discussing the employee handbook at every work session meeting is not the way to go about that, because I believe that will make that going through that process going with the town board as a whole, going through the handbook together at a public meeting. I foresee that taking, 6 months seems optimistic. So what I think should be done is Laura should really lead the way on this, and other town board members who want to consult with her, I think that's very positive, and that's written into the resolution that she's required to consult. And is there a,
I made a new draft.
okay, there's an updated draft.
Yes.
Okay,
Um,
so I'll yield the floor.
Okay. So the one that is distributed is the draft form, and the newer one just has a minor revision of it. So did we make it? I'm sorry, it's been a lot. Where are we at, Dawn?
You're at
We're
discussion.
good? Great.
Yeah, you're at discussion.
Okay, resolution 28 of 2026. Good. Employee handbook. Whereas the town of Wilmington, town board of the town of Wilmington recognizes that the operation of municipal administration and the provision of the public services will be improved by a focused effort to revise, update, and improve the town's employee handbook. Be it resolved that the town board hereby designates Deputy Supervisor Laura Hooker to direct its efforts to revise, update, and improve the town's employee handbook in consultation with the town's account clerk, the town clerk, and the superintendents of the town's various departments and the members of the town board. The town board members shall individually submit suggested edits to the handbook in writing to Deputy Supervisor Hooker no later than the date of the February 2026 work session, where the suggestions will be discussed. In updating and revising the handbook, the employee handbook, the deputy supervisor shall consult with town employees, community members, and outside experts as she deems appropriate. Deputy supervisor shall be authorized to spend not more than $3,000 to revise, update, or improve the employee handbook, and shall be expected to provide the town board with a draft of an updated and improved employee handbook on or before April 1st, 2026.
And for the public, I just have one thing to say, which is, I know $3,000 seems like a lot, and I don't think Laura's anticipating spending $3,000. The consultant gave us a quote. The consultant that looks at and works on town handbooks gave us a quote of $5,400. So this too is an effort to save money from the quote we were given. And I think you're not expecting to spend $3,000
Or $1.
No, so it might be zero. But okay.
I recognize it's not public comment period, but I didn't hear the town's attorney. I didn't know if he should be included on that employee. I didn't hear him in the role, but thought it probably would be a good idea for him to be included in.
Well taken. Ready.
Where do we get a hold of a handbook? I haven't seen one. How are we supposed to make revisions if we've never seen it?
I believe Nicole can get you a copy. It's in a binder.
All right.
I can also give you a copy. I have a binder.
Okay.
Further discussion, please.
And I keep going back to this, like we make resolutions, you said that you always want to move forward. We made this resolution at the organizational meeting. Now it didn't fit exactly the way you guys wanted it to go. So now we're turning around and we're changing it back to something that it does fit the way you guys want it to go. The only thing I see this changing is it gives the board members a deadline to submit anything that should be changed. And maybe I don't want to change anything, but I want to have input on what Laura wants to change. So I don't know if I'm going to have an input on submissions of the employee handbook until I see what Laura's changing, and that's why I wanted to work on it together. You say that it's going to take 6 months. I've been on this board for 18 years. When Rarely was on the board, and Paula and a few of the other ones, we did the whole STR resolution thing in probably 4 work sessions. There's no reason that a board can't work together and get through something as simple as a handbook that should be very minimal changes other than possibly updating regulations and legal requirements, why it would take 6 months of reviewing a handbook. How many revisions are we gonna make at a handbook when we're not changing, we're not taking away benefits, or at least I'm not in favor of taking away benefits from employees. We're not changing vacations, we're not changing salaries that I'm aware of. So why would it possibly take us 6 months to go through a handbook and discuss it as a board when we could do the whole SDR regulation thing and probably work 4 work sessions before? Like, this is what absolutely baffles me. And you guys sit here and you say, it's gonna take us that long. We haven't even worked on it once, and you're sitting there and you're making suggestions that it's gonna take this long when we haven't even tried it.
Well, it is going to take a long time to pull in all of the forms that we need. I've gotten 2 from the county. We have to go through the handbook. I am interested in hearing, it is an employee handbook, so I'm interested in talking to the employees of the town. I'm going to take their information and the town board's information rather than gumming up a town work session, having discussion. I would rather get it on paper. I can formulate a draft saying by April. I am
Well, by February for me.
No, by April for me. I will get it to you before April. I just can't, I don't want to gum up our really, I mean, this is important, but we have other things that need to take priority at our meetings. And if we're going to continue to just talk about any revisions that I've made, I'd rather just take the information that I can absorb from the different sources, make a document. I'll submit it as soon as I get a draft. The deadline of April is probably longer than I'm going to need.
I will say that it's not, the deadline is not that we're going to adopt it by April.
No,
that
it's a draft.
we'll have a draft to review by April. So
I know my last time to
Okay.
speak, because I only get 2 times, but we have a copy from the town of Jay that already paid the $5,400 to have this done. We should be able to pretty much copy and paste this employee handbook that was made for the town of Jay by a team of lawyers that they paid to have it done and paid the $5,400. Basically, all of the wordage as far as the legal requirements are already in that book. All we should be doing is updating it to our regulations and our benefits that we offer our employees.
please.
On that document, there is on the front page of any of the things that are released by that company that it's not allowed to be duplicated.
It doesn't have to be word for word, but the verbiage is in there. I mean, it's not going to be, it's not like we're just literally taking and copying every single page, but all of the requirements are in that book.
I reached out to Nicole. Nicole is going to set up, I have to tell her my availability. She's going to set up a meeting with the employees for myself to speak to them.
Yeah, I do just go back to, I mean, there's a lot you said that I don't 100% agree with, but I don't, I think what I said initially is what I believe, and that we have a lot to do, a real, and I do think it would take, okay, let's say it doesn't take 6 months, let's say it takes 4. I think it would be more efficient to have Laura take the lead and present us with a draft, and hopefully we can do it in 2. So that's all.
Do we want to vote?
Unless anyone has anything to add. You can speak more than twice.
I'm good. I know where the vote's going.
Are we voting? Hannah?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Darren?
We've already made this resolution, no.
Laura?
Yes.
Randy?
No, I don't want to disappoint you, so yes.
Okay.
Carried.
Agenda item 6. May I have a motion on agenda item 6?
Make it.
Okay, discussion.
What are we reading?
Someone should read it, I suppose, so.
Yeah, I'll read. Resolution, whatever number,
29,
29, 6, whatever.
whatever.
Comprehensive Plan Committee. Whereas the town board of the town of Wilmington recognizes that the town's comprehensive plan was adopted a half century ago, and that the town will be well served by a focused effort to adopt a new comprehensive plan, it is hereby resolved that Hannah Cromie and Patricia Winch shall be designated as the temporary chairs of the Comprehensive Plan Committee. Be it further resolved, the employees and office holders of the town of Wilmington and the temporary chairs of the Comprehensive Plan Committee shall be encouraged to conduct customary and appropriate forms of promotion to encourage Wilmington residents to participate in the Comprehensive Plan Committee. The temporary chairs of the Comprehensive Plan Committee shall schedule meetings of the committee and shall lead, organize, and oversee meetings of the committee until the Comprehensive Plan Committee is sufficiently organized that its members are able to elect permanent officers. Members of the town board, members of the planning board, and members of the zoning board of appeals of the town of Wilmington shall be encouraged to participate in the Comprehensive Plan Committee, consistent with the limitations imposed by the laws of the state of New York.
Okay, discussion. As the person who drafted this, I suppose I'll speak first. I think it's important to, as Randy said, we've been talking about this for certainly over 2 years, and there's been nothing. It's very ambiguous how much progress has been made in the past 2.5 years on this. So I think we ought to try to make progress, and the way to try to make progress is to just appoint 2 people as temporary chairs. They're not permanent chairs, and try to get this committee off the ground and allow them to go forward, so that we can, at some point in the next few years, have a new comprehensive plan instead of, I'll leave it at that.
I want to make Hannah and Pat both aware that they need to keep minutes for their meetings.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Please.
I'll go along with it because I do think we need to have a new comprehensive plan. I'm just disappointed that this board has sat here again and said everything is going to be transparent and this is what we're going to know. And this is the first I've heard that who were going to be temporary chairs. There was no discussion at the last, and I can say this, at our last meeting, we had an executive session and there was discussion that this was something that was going to be brought up and discussed by the board. It has not been, but now I have a resolution that I'm supposed to vote for when I had no knowledge of it.
No, I will say, I don't know. I didn't email this to you today. I didn't email this to you yesterday. I think it was the day before yesterday or the day before that. So you have had this resolution.
Where was the discussion?
Well, the discussion is now, but this is not the first you've heard of it. So, and where the discussion is now, and I certainly am not adamant that Hannah and Pat be the temporary chairs of the committee. It's a starting point for discussion. So.
Also, they reached out as interest parties of it. I don't remember
So
you.
many other people.
I don't remember you reaching out for any.
I didn't say I did, but many other people have expressed interest in it. And
We're-
we're supposed to have a discussion on that.
Darren, they're just.
I'm not going to go on any farther, Tim. Let's just vote.
I just
I
want to
said
say.
my piece.
Yes, you did. And I just want to say, I'm not saying that they are going to be chairs for the next 3 months. They're going to be chairs for the first meetings to get the committee organized. And I think that's appropriate. Hannah's on the town board. Pat was the co-chair of the STR committee, which did work very successfully. So there are 2 people I thought would make good chairs as a board member and as a previous chair of a town committee. And it's not permanent. It's just to get the committee going. So, Randy, please.
Just out of curiosity, when and where will the committee sign up sheet be for the?
It's a good question, a great question. I don't know if there will be a sign-up sheet. I think there will be flyers posted that say, please contact the town clerk or any member of the town board if you want to. Okay,
Vote, Hannah,
Yes.
Tim,
yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Randy.
No, I just want to be different.
Don't vote against the next one. May I have a motion on agenda item 7? May I have a motion on agenda item 7?
Make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Whereas the town board of the town of Wilmington recognizes that in the past 2 years, forward movement on the homestead housing initiative has been less than desired or expected by the members of the town board and the people of the town of Wilmington. And whereas the town board recognizes that the citizens of the town of Wilmington will be well served by a focused effort to generate forward movement on the homestead housing initiative, it is therefore resolved that Forrest Randy Winch shall chair a committee titled the Homestead Housing Board, which shall be comprised of not less than 3 members of the Wilmington community. Be it further resolved, the town board of the town of Wilmington hereby gives Randy Winch the authority to take all measures he deems appropriate to make progress on the homestead housing initiative for the people of the town of Wilmington, including but not limited to contacting members of the Wilmington community and asking them to join the Homestead Housing Board, publicizing and promoting membership on the aforesaid board, scheduling meetings of the Homestead Housing Board, contacting employees of Adirondack Roots, the Essex County Land Bank, and similar organizations, organizing public and non-public tours of and visits to the Homestead Housing site, reviewing maps, documents, and similar materials related to the Homestead Housing site, reporting to the town board from time to time regarding the progress of the Homestead Housing Board, obstacles encountered by the board, and similar matters. Okay, discussion.
Speaking of maps and documents, where are they? I mean, been working on this for like 2 years. There's got to be some material laying around
Tim should
somewhere.
have them in his office.
Well, they should be somewhere.
I mean,
They
No.
were in a folder, Laura. They should be there.
I have found one map. I have found at least 2 documents. I'll keep you posted as I continue to go through a mass of files that are seemingly,
Maybe when you're putting them into the new office and setting up your files, you'll be able to find them. But
I will find it,
They are
definitely.
there.
I'm going to go through every page. But, I wish that they
Thank
were,
you.
yeah. I do have a map for you and at least a document or 2.
I think Doug probably has some of that information as well.
okay, I'll talk with Doug.
Further discussion. Okay, hearing no further discussion.
Can I just ask you,
Yes,
is Roy still connected with that too? Roy?
I don't, honestly, I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay. Does anybody else know the answer to the question?
Roy's online, so he'd be the person to ask.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Because Roy was very involved in that, right? So is he still, that's the question. Whoops.
Not-
That's not Roy.
The next one.
I think he just hung up.
I think he got off.
I guess he's not involved.
There he is.
Oh, hey guys,
Yeah.
I'm here. Sorry, I'm not very computer literate. So in regards to Randy Winch's question, there is soil studies, there's surveys, there's a ton of information that should be in what's going to be Tim's office or Faber's old office. There's a ton of documentation. So don't sweat that. The other thing is the Essex County Anna Reynolds Community Resources has a ton of information on this, as well as Adirondack Roots. So there's a ton of information. I'll provide you any information you request or require, because I too want to see this project completed.
Thank you, Roy.
You're welcome.
Roy, are you still working on it, or have you kind of taken a step back from it, or?
Well, because the whole thing fell apart when we're looking at the two phases, the townhouses for rentals, and then the other half was hoping we were going to do actual home ownership. I think the biggest thing, Tim, is you got the land. You should look at other, like the land bank, because they're doing some pretty incredible stuff over at the county. Certainly include Adirondack Roots. Look, I'm willing to talk to you. I don't want to take up meeting time now, but if Randy wants to look me up, I'm more than happy to give him any knowledge I have on it.
I will do that, Roy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, youth committee. This is just a discussion item, so I don't think we need a motion on it. I'm pleased to report, I have had a decent number of community members reach out to me to express their interest in participating in the youth committee. In a revived, the youth committee is currently sort of on ice, hibernating, you could say, maybe dormant. But I think there are certainly some people in town who want to revive it, people who weren't participating in the past who would like to participate now. So I think the way forward is to ask the previous members of the youth committee to attend a meeting with the people in town who would like to be members, and they can discuss what they've experienced for the past like 3 years. One of the previous members is for the past 3 years, and obstacles or things that went well, just kind of guide them through what this being on what this committee means and what it's done so far, and just be a resource to them as they try to hopefully get it going again. So I think that's the most, to me, that's the way we should proceed, but it's just a discussion item. So.
Did we get your contact information?
Yes, I was gonna see if I could make a comment.
Yes,
Can
please.
someone outside of the town, oh, I guess it's more of a question, someone outside of the
It's
town be
okay.
on that committee?
You can ask questions at this point. Yes, and in fact, one of the driving members of the committee, she lived feet outside of Wilmington. So we've established a precedent that, you know, that's not, it's not that strict.
That would be very interesting.
Great. Yes, please contact, well, we'll talk about how to get a hold of each other. Thank you.
Mhm.
Please.
Are older youth allowed on the committee as junior members?
That's a great question. I see no reason, well, I personally see no reason why not, but
I'm not against it for sure.
I think it's probably a good idea personally. But.
Yeah. After all, it is for the youth.
Well, Lake Placid High School requires a certain amount of community service hours, so it might open it up to
Mhm.
some students with regards to that as well.
So unless I hear any objection at all, I'll proceed forward. Reaching out to the people who have contacted me and expressed interest, and reaching out to the previous members of the youth committee, or the people who had driven this effort in previous years, and let's try to set up a meeting between everyone at the Parks building. Okay.
It's not so much on the youth committee itself, but this is a statement / question. Are we planning to have a youth commission this summer? And if we are, we can't wait until this youth committee gets formed in 1, 2, 3 months, or we're going to get caught with our pants down, just like we did last year. It takes months to get these applications, forms, insurance, health department, regulations, all set and approved. Then if we wait till March or April, it's not going to happen again. So if we are going to do it this summer, this is something that we need to actively start or we need to decide to defer it until later.
I agree. And I really do want it to happen this summer. And I even put it in our organizational meeting. But yes, we're on the same page more or less on this. I really want it to happen. I think it's important.
So that means you're going to take the lead and start getting a hold of state organizations and stuff.
I am going to take the lead. Yes,
Are
I'll
we
take the
making a
lead.
resolution, or are we just,
I don't think it's
motion?
necessary, really.
okay,
I wouldn't think.
matter choice?
These are additional discussion items. I've touched on them and said what I have to say about them. Do other members of the board have anything they would like to say about any of these discussion items?
I want to tee it to the next meeting.
Okay. I guess I'll, at this point, make a motion to depart from regular order and take public comments at this point. So we're taking them ahead of the executive session. So I don't think the executive session will take very long and everyone can wait and hear what we decide. I think will take maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So everyone's welcome to wait. But we're going to have a little, we're going to go into executive session in the other part of the building. So I'll make a motion to depart from this agenda and open it up to public comments at this time.
Make it second.
Okay, discussion. Okay. Any discussion? Okay, so I'll just lay down the same ground rules as before. 3 minutes. Just comments, not questions. I somehow missed that we are having a special meeting to answer questions and to hear from the public. That's on the 22nd of this month at 6 o'clock. So I kind of wish that I'm anticipating there's going to be about 8 people there. I wish that it would be really nice if there was this big of a crowd then to ask us questions and tell us whatever they want to tell us. But at this point, it is time for public comment. So please raise your hands and I'll call on you and try to keep it orderly. Please, Mindy.
Just a generalized comment. I happen to notice, and I know Laura made the comment that you are all brand new up there, or a good portion of you are brand new and you're trying really hard. You've rescinded resolutions that you made and then kind of the backwards and forwards. Perhaps reach out to associations of towns and maybe NICOM or GFOA prior to the resolutions, like hold them off. I know you're trying to get a lot done right ahead of schedule and put a lot of stuff out there, but just to make sure that you're all on the same page and that you're going about it the right way before you make the resolution, so you don't have to hold back and forth, because it can be really confusing.
That's very well taken. That's very well taken.
I'm all for getting things done, I just hope they get it done the right way, so let's not rush about it. I understand you have to move forward, we don't want to take 3 years, you have to be efficient and effective, but you gotta do what you're supposed to do.
Can we get your name?
Tom Conley.
Okay.
And that reminds me that we need to schedule the time for the public hearing on the zoning amendments. There's a date written into the resolution, but not a time. So we'll discuss that after executive session and decide on that. Please, Paula.
I'm not sure if you guys got the email that I sent the other day. And again, it was just a recommendation. There is a book that is published by the Association of Towns of the state of New York. That manual is called the Town Law Manual, and the current date is 2016. It's kind of like a cookbook to follow in regards to having a safety officer, having a budget officer, working on different zoning laws. If you need to have a secret, it's a really good book. I think when I sat on the board with you, I suggested that you have it then. I save my copy, so I do look at it from time to time for different resolutions. I don't know, Laura, Tim, Gary, if you have a copy, but I would strongly recommend everybody having a copy, being familiar with it. Just a recommendation.
And Paul, they did get your email. I forwarded it to them, and I put hard copy in their box.
Don, I appreciate that.
No, we're not, are we allowed to speak?
Well, the thing is when there was the back and forth,
Right,
it's
nope,
when
all set,
it
good to
went,
go.
it
Good.
didn't go that great.
Sounds
So
fantastic.
please,
Pertaining to what you had said, Darren, it does take a long time for that paperwork through the health department and the other organizations. Even starting it now, you may not have enough time by summer. I do have a couple ideas. I did work for the town of Black Brook when the town of Black Brook ran their summer youth program. I was the assistant director then. When it was moved to the high school, we did not have to do any more of that health paperwork because it was done through the school district. Now, the only idea I had was, and I don't know if this is even possible, while that paperwork is being done to use the youth center on the Park Road, is there a possibility of you moving that youth program to the Adirondack Christian Day School? They are under the umbrella of ABCS, yes, but all of that health department paperwork is already done through the district. That might be something you'd have to speak with Mr. Francia about. I don't know if that's something, but while that's being done, I don't even know if it's a possibility. That was just an idea that I had to at least get that youth program off the ground and running, if that can even be done. You're welcome.
Can I ask you a question, Chelsea?
Sure.
Like, some of the other towns, like I believe the town of Jay partners with the ABCS program.
Yes.
Do you have any other towns that do that?
Yes,
Can you tell us a little bit about what's involved? Let's just say we couldn't get it up and running. Do you know any of the process that how we could partner with, for example, ABCS to help do a summer program for our kids?
Well, right now, because Wilmington is split between Lake Placid School District and Ausable District, the students that go to Ausable Valley can go to this youth program. If you're not a resident in the Ausable District, or even if you live in the Ausable District but your student goes to another school, they're still eligible to come to this program. We partner with the town of Jay, town of Black Brook, town of Chesterfield, and there's one more. Yes, thank you. They all provide, the program I ran was at a much bigger scale. I had between 130 and 150 students a day. I planned the entire program for 4 weeks. It was a 4-week program last year. We had a 1-to-10 ratio. I had 15 students or 15 staff and an assistant. We had a ratio of 1-to-10. I planned arts and crafts, STEM. I had paint parties come in. We went for a field trip to Lake Placid Center for the Arts. The third year, I planned we went to Sky Zone in Queensbury, and I took 147 students. Yeah. I didn't lose any, and nobody got hurt. We had 3 nurses with us. We had all of our staff. I planned that program from the bottom up. I run it by color groups, by age group. Yours is at a much smaller scale, but.
Well, one of the problems that we've always struggled with is busing. So to get our students to any activities, we struggle to find busing. So ABCS has provided the busing for that program because we've never been able to do this and effectively get them to places like Sky Zone or anything, because we don't have a busing program, or no school has been willing voluntarily.
Can you fundraise for something like that? Can the youth commission or that program run, can you do fundraisers for that? Like the schools do fundraisers to raise money for busing. Can that,
Does Osable make you pay for the buses, or is it in part of the program?
Sable actually doesn't pay for our program. It's run through the 21st Century Grant. We are on our 4th year right now. So I believe this summer we have to reapply for that grant. Don't quote me on that because I don't apply for those grants. My boss does. I'm just the director. I plan the whole program from arts and crafts and STEM, and I bring in like Cornell Cooperative Extension. They do nutrition activities and stuff like that. We do sporting events and stuff like that. So
I'm just trying to get all the information
yeah,
to our board. So we
I mean,
have
I
it,
wouldn't,
because
I don't have a problem if you want me to come in and meet with you guys and discuss what we do. I don't have a problem with that either. But I do know I've talked to Tina several times and some other people that, and I've expressed interest in trying to get this program off the ground.
Chelsea, can you stick around and we can talk to you after the executive session? And
sure.
After the,
I can do that.
Okay. And maybe only in front of only 15 people instead of 50.
I don't mind.
Beth, please.
I just wanted to add, I have worked with Youth Commission for many years here. Lake Placid Central School does provide busing to the youth program here when needed. It's a contractual thing in the past, probably similar to what Osable does.
Right.
but we have struggled sometimes to find drivers and stuff for that.
The school does. We just have to let the school know ahead of time when a driver was needed. They've went to Great Escape for us. They've done other trips.
Yeah, as long as it's planned ahead of time, they usually can find a driver.
Thank you. Thanks, Beth.
Do we pay the driver gas or the? I think it went both ways. I think one time we did have to pay, another time we had to pay for the gas, but the driver donated his time.
I know like with the youth commission we do, we do the school buses, but we have to pay the driver.
Yeah, I think a couple of times the driver had volunteered. They were a Wilmington driver for like Placid School.
Another option that you might have too is if you just need a van for like smaller groups. I know that when I was doing races, NICEF used their vans and we just paid for their gas and the drivers too. So that's another option. Maybe see if NICEF would be interested.
NICEF did 2 summers ago with the Wilmington program.
And now that we have the money to use the rescue, that's kind of what they want us to support.
Due to the efforts of the previous youth committee, and due to a very generous donation we've received, we have, the budgets should be okay, certainly for this summer program. I don't want to jinx myself, but the youth committee did an excellent job in many ways, and one of those ways is in fundraising. So. Okay, may I have a motion to go into executive session? Gotta ask the online.
Yeah, does anyone online?
I
I don't see any hands.
Any hand raised for public comment on the online side, please? Oops. You see any hand?
I think that's people leaving. Yeah, I should have the hand down here in the corner where that hand is. That should be right on if somebody has a question.
I think we'll do a 10-minute recess and then start the executive session. So
We roll into it. Roll it.
Yeah.
Roll it.
Late now.
Roll in, yeah. We're outvoting. Yeah, outvoting.
Okay, we making a motion?
Well, yeah, can someone make a
I'll make
motion?
it.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
You can stay. Thanks, man.
I'm so hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a really good working relationship with Homestead and Adirondack.
We'll take all the Thank you.
This conference will now be recorded. Nobody on there reads lips. There. Well, stock on, guys.
Right.
No,
It's warm enough in here, Don, you were dead, so you were able to turn them on.
I'll try to. I mean, everywhere is having trouble.
it's weird because you think that it's, the way that it's labeled is odd.
It's winter,
I know, I have the same problem, Randy.
the name is above your box, not below your box.
My brain just can't.
That looks like movies. So, again, your name, you're probably right below Louis' box. Or vice versa.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any other questions. Well,
Louis.
No. This is for, and this is for. Yeah. So probably and meeting with people, basically.
So,
Yes. Including the emails. Did you find them? Okay.
well, at the, well, that.
Make sure I have everything in order that we need to do. Start with the appointments, I think.
Yep.
Standard contracts.
Mm-hmm. Community center. For the school. And then the expenses and transfer.
There was something else too, though.
But it's
From December,
December, so that's.
anything else?
Call it meeting back to order.
And I have that, I know that one.
So hot.
Is it still hot in here?
Carol's dressed like a
Very,
snowman.
yes.
It's fine? Okay. You're the official temperature keeper. Put it in the organizational meeting.
I need some kind of a little job, right?
We need a formal title. May I have a motion to come out of executive session? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. May I have a motion on resolution?
Gotta move back into regular session.
May I have a motion to move back into regular session?
Make it.
Is there a second?
A second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. I believe this is resolution 31. It's the resolution related to the appointments to the planning board and the Board of Assessment Review. I mean, well, can I have a motion on what is referred to as resolution 31?
Make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. So we are changing Carol's term to a 2-year term. Because, and that was a mistake I made, three. You're filling Randy's seat, and yes, I was wrong. And so we had to change it. It's a 2-year term. Okay. And we're appointing Noel Wood to the Board of Assessment Review. Is there discussion on either of those things? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Standard contracts with Essex County and Elizabethtown Community Hospital. May I have a motion to approve the standard contracts?
Make it.
Is there a second?
So we're voting on just the hospital at this point, because you said standard contract.
I think they both are. I was thinking both, but we can do them separately.
Well, just so nobody even knows what the second one was, so.
The contract with Essex County?
Right, you didn't say that, so I just want to make sure that people know what it is.
Okay. Okay, we're discussing a standard annual contract with Elizabethtown Community Hospital and a standard annual contract with Essex County that governs the distribution of occupancy tax money from the county to the towns. And as far as I know, the language of the contract, as far as I know, is identical to what it's been in previous years. Some of the addendums might be different. I noticed that they gave us maybe 3 years ago guidelines as to what that money can be spent on. And those guidelines are incorporated into this contract as legally binding, which is strange because the town of Jay is spending $20,000, or they're budgeting $20,000, allocating $20,000 in occupancy tax money for the purchase of land grant property, which it does not appear on that. It doesn't comport with those guidelines. Nevertheless, that's not particularly relevant to this conversation. I just wanted to make everyone, I thought that was noteworthy. Do we want to vote on these contracts individually or at the same time, or discussion? Yep.
I'm fine with it at the same time.
Okay, we'll vote on them at the same time. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. All right, the final resolution in the packet of draft resolutions is the authorization and publication of the use of the community center by the Board of Lake Placid Central School for the purposes of a budget hearing and a vote on the school budget. May I have a motion on resolution 34?
Make it. Second.
Discussion?
Oh, I did. Do we have to staff this at all?
No.
Thank you.
They call and get the key, somebody stops and gets the key.
Okay.
And then they drop it in one of the mailbox outside.
Okay.
If somebody isn't at the thing that has a key.
Okay.
I will try to do a better job of publicizing this than maybe it's been publicized, the budget hearing in previous years. Just because something I hadn't heard about in previous years until I was here and it was happening. So I think we should try and publicize it a little more. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. We have to approve the minutes from the work session meeting in December, and only 3 of us can vote because only 3 of us were here. So I have a motion. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the December work session meeting? Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Carries. We are going to have the public, we have a motion to schedule the public hearing on local law number 1 of 2026. Is there a second? Discussion. I propose that we have the public hearing on the zoning code amendments we discussed earlier tonight. I propose that we have that. We move the work session to, we're having it on the same day, just a different time. We'll have the public hearing first, starting at 6 p.m., and then the work session basically immediately following the public hearing with probably a brief recess, but maybe 5-minute recess or so in between. Is there further discussion? On the 28th, when the work session would normally be the last Wednesday of the month.
Or the time will be 6 o'clock instead of 4.
I think we have to do routine expenses and transfers.
We need to vote.
Okay, you're right, sorry.
Everybody
You're
for
right.
it?
Yes.
All in favor? Opposed? Carries. We have a motion to approve routine expenses and transfers. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Carries. I believe that's
I just have one question.
okay.
Okay,
Private comment.
sorry. And this is to Michelle.
Okay,
Am I allowed to speak to the public?
Yes.
you can, I'll see.
It's
you
regarding
before.
a question that,
Okay.
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 Michelle, hi. I noticed in your letter, you requested that your letter be read and put in the minutes of the meeting. Are you, since you spoke at the meeting, are you still requesting that, or is that something that we can alleviate?
I don't need it written or read out loud, but I would like it still submitted as public record.
Okay.
Okay. Now for things to be put in the thing, into the minutes, when we had a big problem before, we made it so they got voted on. So if somebody wants to,
I'm gonna motion to table that discussion. Let's just table it.
she wants it in the minutes.
I know, and you didn't like where that went the last time we went
Okay,
down
so
this road.
all I need is a resolution telling you guys, saying to put them in the minutes. Somebody make a motion that I put them in the minutes, somebody seconds it,
Okay,
and that's it, it's done.
okay. You
Okay,
want to go down this road?
yeah. If,
Okay.
as long as it's voted on, I don't care. I'm just
The
not gonna
last
be,
time you did felt the opposite.
no,
okay.
this is what I did last time, I said no. Wait, I did it once, I put them in there without getting a resolution. Then it turned into a mess, and I said after that, from now on, anything that they want put in there is fine, but the board has to vote on it.
I motion to table it. Is there a second? Okay, motion to put Michelle's letter. Did someone make a motion on that? On,
No, we haven't. We
Okay.
just, I was asking what the process was. I'm sorry.
it's okay. Someone needs to make a motion. Okay, is there a second? Discussion. not crazy about it. I mean, we did go down this road, and this is the road that we've been down before that I don't think is great to go down. I've been trying to avoid going down. All that said, it's not that big of a deal. So, however the rest of the board feels about it.
I don't really understand it.
It's when things are, anybody can send in correspondence. Correspondence are technically supposed to be read at the meeting, okay? They can ask to have it put into the minutes of the meeting. When we do, because we had a big problem of back and forth, I said that for them to be put in the meeting from now on, there had to be a resolution, and then I would put them in. It's actually kind of up to the clerk, but I don't think it's right if everybody else wants them in there, not to put them in there. So I threw it back on you guys. Put it short and sweet. I threw the ball back in your court, or in the board's court. So.
I just don't understand what the problem is of doing that. That's what I don't understand. I mean.
You weren't coming to the meetings at that time.
No, you weren't coming to the meetings. We had Tim and David Alley.
Hey, no need to mention any names.
Well, we had people.
I didn't write any letters. It wasn't me writing the letters.
I tried to not mention any names. He turned it into a he said, she said, nasty letter type things. I wasn't comfortable with it. Okay, so at that point, I said, okay, that from now on to have correspondence put in the minutes, that it would take the board's resolution. I can summarize it just as easy by just saying, so-and-so wrote a letter.
I'll summarize it. There was a pretty long and not that accurate letter excoriating me, which was put into the minutes. And then there was another letter excoriating other members of the board that was subsequently put into the minutes. Fortunately, that's where it ended, and it didn't continue for the next several months. But
yes, we had no problem.
I don't get. Hopefully, this ends here if this is approved.
Okay.
Okay, so is anybody against it? Do I have any no's?
I haven't even read it, so I don't know. No, I don't think we should put it in the minutes. I haven't even read it. So
we just vote?
Yes, we can vote.
Hannah?
Yes.
What's that?
Tim?
No.
Darren?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Laura?
Yes.
And Randy?
I haven't read it either, so I'm gonna vote no.
Okay, so in this case, Michelle, what I will do is say that you sent a letter. Letters kept on file in my office if somebody wants to read it, but it will not be in the official minute book.
Why not? We had 3 yeses.
Oh, you voted yes? I thought you said no. I'm sorry. Because I'm sorry, I'm tired.
No problem.
Okay, so it's passed. It'll be in there.
I asked though that the other two members please read my letter. I mean, that is part of your responsibility when people send you letters.
What time did you send it, Michelle? What day? All right, let's have a motion to adjourn. I think that we have.
Make it.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to know, you said that you were going to have office hours. Do you know times of your office hours that you're going to be here?
I don't. But I will contact you. I'll contact you in the next 3 days. How's that sound?
You don't have to contact me. If you
Okay.
somehow would.
Publicize it?
Please.
Yes,
Thank you.
I definitely will.
That's all.
No problem.
I do better with talking to you and not taking up time during a meeting that could probably be used.
I'll be glad to do it. No problem. Thank you. Additional public comments? Motion to adjourn.
Make it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Another thing. I'm not gonna say for the good thing. Okay. Thank you. Good job.